What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel, check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on some like I don't know if it's disrespect or why like teams are overlooking the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard in the West. It's almost like they don't know. People have forgot about Kawhi Leonard's his resume and what Kawhi Leonard brought to the table and what Kawhi Leonard can do. If they get healthy and going down the stretch, like how dangerous Kawhi Leonard could be. In the Clippers. Who else is on this team? You got James Harden over there. James Harden has been playing. Has been playing really. He's been playing really good. As of late. And in my opinion, James Harden has kind of been carrying the team until Kawhi Leonard was able to get back to, looking like he's looking now, like he's almost at full strength, right? And so I don't know why people are overlooking. Like when you talk about like the playoff picture that's coming up, people really not really paying too much attention to the Clippers. And I think that the Clippers can be dangerous, especially for some of these young teams because they got these older veterans, mainly Kawhi Leonard, who if these young ball players run into Kawhi, a healthy Kawhi, it could be lights out for him. So now in the West, let me see. The Clippers are let me see 2, 4. They're like seventh now in the West. They right behind the Lakers. The Lakers at 6, and the Clippers are at 7th, right? And Golden State is right behind them. So they right in the thick of things. And you look at it, the last 10 games, the Clippers' last 10 games, they are 8 wins and 2 losses. So they've definitely been on the upswing. Kawhi, it's like I said, he's looking like he's rounding into shape. He's looking healthier now than he's been, in a while. So that's really, in my opinion, that's really concern for some, especially these younger teams. Like OKC, I think that the Clippers will pose a problem for them because Kawhi Leonard, when he's healthy, he's an excellent two-way ball player. Like down on the offensive end, when he's healthy, he's unstoppable, with his mid-range game. And then on the defensive end, he's still, is really a very good defender on the defensive end. So he's a two-way ball player, and they can pose a lot of problems for some of these, for some of these younger teams and teams who are not healthy, right? I think OKC, they at the number one spot. I think OKC will have a problem, have a tough go at it with the Clippers. I think Denver will have a tough. Denver. I think Denver match up with him a little bit better. With them a little bit better, but Minnesota, I think with Anthony Edwards, I think they will have a tough time at it. Then you got the Portland Trailblazers. I think Portland would struggle against a veteran team like with like Kawhi Leonard, right? So these teams have to be very, very weary of Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers. Especially the younger teams. Um, and I don't think that yeah, in the West, and see if you look at the West, the standings in the West is so wide open, and so everybody is just, it seems like everybody is just bunched up. So you have how many teams? You got like one, two, you got like 4 or 5 teams within the same. OKC is way out in front. But then you got Denver has the Nuggets got 47 wins. Minnesota, they had 46. The Lakers got 48. The Clippers had 46. Then you have Golden State with 46. So you got a lot of teams that are like just bunched up with that 46, 47, 48. Like a game and a half separates most of these teams, like in that in that little cluster right there, right? So this to watch the playoffs in the West this year, man, I think it's gonna be like that's like almost like football. They call it the black and blue division when you know that like these teams are just beating up on each other. The East is a little bit different. You got the Celtics and you got the Knicks, and then after that you got Cleveland, Indiana. But to me, the East is not nowhere near as strong as the West. You got about 4 or 5 teams in the East that are, 4 teams behind the Celtics. That I think could to challenge the Celtics. But most people think the Celtics is going to come out of the East, but that West, it's just that you got and that's what that's the good part about it. So you got the older guys. You got LeBron representing the Lakers. Then you got Steph Curry with Golden State. Then you got Kawhi and James Harden. With the Clippers. And these older guys who know how to win. The older guys who have championships, and then like I think I would even throw Luca. I mean, the Joker in there with him. Like the Joker, the Joker got a championship. The Joker has 3 MVPs so far, and he's up for the MVP this year. Him and what's the kid name? Shea Gilgris Alexander. So that West, man, that West is terrible though. It's a lot of competition, and I think that these young teams, man, these young inexperienced teams need to really be careful. And so whoever the coach is, I don't know who the coach is for OKC or and one coach just who coach Denver coach just got fired today. Probably like 2 games with 1 or 2 games left in the season. I don't know what that was all about. I'm gonna look into that to see what that was all about. But yeah, Denver coach just got fired with like 1 game left going into the playoffs. So he must have really, I don't know, something behind the scenes might have went on them to for people at Denver to feel like they needed really to get him out of there. I know Denver in their last 10 games, they've lost 7. They won 3 out of their last 10 games. So maybe that had something to do with it. But Denver still had 47, they still had 47 victories on the season with a 595%, a 59% win rate, almost 60%. So I don't know. If it wasn't really something serious, I think like that decision right there probably could have been held off until like the end of the playoffs. But I don't know what was going on. A lot haven't been said about it except for the fact that coach of the Denver Nuggets has been fired. But other than that, a lot of information hasn't come out about it. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing this old school ball players or this older generation go up against the young generation like OKC, Portland is young. Then who else is a young team that's in this? Sacramento, I don't really, they not in there. But yeah, man. Utah, I don't think Utah don't really. Let me see, what's Utah? Oh, damn, Utah ain't nowhere near in it. But yeah, you got these. Like I said, OKC gonna really have to have something to worry about. Minnesota's gonna have something to worry about. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know why. Like I said, these people are really looking past Kawhi Leonard and his team. Maybe they teams are not really counting on him being healthy. You know, um, but you also have to take into account Kawhi missed a lot of games. This season, so you're basically getting a well rested Kawhi Leonard. At this time, and he's like I said, he's already battle tested. He's coming to the table. He's coming into these playoffs with 2 championships already. One with the San Antonio Spurs, as a mainly as a role player and a shutdown defender. Then he won his second championship in Toronto, and in that one he was like, he was the lead. He was the leading man in that one right there. So he knows how to get it done. He knows what it takes to get it done. And so that is something I think that these younger teams really need to watch out for in these playoffs, because you got so many, like I said, so many different veterans, man, that's coming into these playoffs, and these young teams who don't have that type of experience and they haven't been battle tested like that. They're gonna have to earn their stripes, and I think it's starting. Uh, it's starting this in these playoffs. They're gonna have to really earn their stripes, because these guys, these older guys, are coming, and Kawhi Leonard is the one leading the charge. So, yeah, man, that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.